Greetings, everyone. This video is one in a series on the topic of assessment best practices in Canvas quizzes. Now, these videos are intended to explore ways that you can structure assessments in Canvas in order to discourage academic dishonesty. Now, this video is part 2 in a mini-series on how to include some variance in the types of questions that you are including in your Canvas quizzes. The last video walked through a quiz with multiple question types from the student side, and this will walk through that same quiz from the instructor side. So I am here in editing mode for this quiz. Like I said, this is the same quiz we examined for part 1. So the questions here correspond to the same ones we looked at from the student perspective in that previous video. So I'm going to select the tab at the top to view the questions. And I'm going to come down here to edit question 1. Note here that you have the ability to change the value that you assign for each question. Now, I've made each question in this quiz worth 2 points, but you can edit each individual quiz item to assign any number of points you deem appropriate. So, for example, if you want to make essay questions worth more than multiple choice questions, you can do that here. You can see here in this drop down that this is a location where I can change the question type. You'll notice that there's an option associated with each of the question types that we looked at in that last video. For both multiple choice and true-false questions, I can change the correct answer by selecting this arrow option here. Just note that you'll need to select update question if you make any changes to the question, right? So if I come down to the fill in the blank question, you can add multiple answers that you consider acceptable here. Now, capitalization doesn't matter, but anything outside of the answers that you provide will not be counted. So I can add additional answers that are deemed correct by adding another answer here. For multiple fill in the blank questions, anytime you put words in brackets, that's going to trigger the inclusion of another required student response. And then for each of the answers, you have to come down here and provide what the correct answer consists of. So if I were to add an additional sentence here that says something like this, see what happens here. Now I have an answer 3, and I will need to include what the correct answers are if I want to include that additional option and then update. And the same applies for multiple drop downs here. For each of the answer options, I have to provide the multiple choice options and then select the one that is correct, right? Answer 1, answer 2. And you can see also what happens if I add an additional word in brackets. Now I have to come in and provide what are the options and which one is the correct answer. For multiple answer questions, you can see here that for multiple answer questions, you can see here that I can add lots of possible options, and I must select each one that is considered correct. And just click the arrow for any of the answers that I consider correct. For matching questions, you can see here that there is an option down at the bottom to add additional answers, with the left side option that you would enter here and the right side of the matching option that you would include here. Now, there's also the option to include additional distractor options that are not associated with a correct answer. For numerical answer questions, obviously you want to put the value in here that you're looking for, that's the correct answer. But for exact answer questions, you have the ability to place a margin of error so that, for example, if I placed a margin of error at 0.1, it would accept any answer between 1.0 and 1.2. It's not required, but you do have the ability to do that. Also, you can choose an answer in the range. So for example, between 0 and 2, any answer that is within this range would be accepted. Now, I don't want to get too in the weeds here with answers with precision, but in a nutshell, the precision number concerns how many digits are expected in the answer. If we come down here to formula questions, now this applies to question 9 and 10 in this quiz. I had put in an X value in brackets here in this question. So what happens is that Canvas will randomly generate a number between the values that I assign here. So when it actually generates a question for students, it will generate a value between 1 and 10. So for example, one student might get the question, find the weight of 3 boulders, and another student might get the question, find the weight of 9 boulders. Now, I do have to give it a formula that it will use to generate. So I had done that already. Let me show you. I'm just going to put in here the formula that's going to be used is 180 times X. And save. You can see here it will recompute examples of questions that are within this range. Then I'm going to tell Canvas here how many different values I want it to generate within the range that I had specified above. So then when I click generate here, these are all of the options for values that it will randomly generate for students who are taking this quiz. So again, one student might get the question that requires 180 times 2. Someone else might get the option for 180 times 10. Question 10, also a formula question, is similar to question 9, but you can see here that I had allowed a range of both positive and negative values with 21 possible value combinations that have been generated. So if we come down here to essay questions, long answer essay questions, we mentioned before that these questions will have to be manually graded in SpeedGrader. Now, there's not much to actually setting it up other than adding the question or prompt here in the text editor. You can edit the general answer comments that students receive after submitting their response if you so choose. Like I can come in here and just say your response will be graded shortly if I so desire, and update. And the same goes for file upload questions as well. Not much to it other than giving it directions. And if I want, I can edit the general answer comments that students get after submitting. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. We hope you also check out some of our other videos on this topic of assessment best practices in Canvas quizzes.